Hey there. Welcome to another episode of Carve Your Own Fucking Path, a podcast made to inspire you to create a life and business on your own terms. You'll hear candid interviews with people who have boldly decided to blaze their own trail, and the occasional solo show with me, your host. I'm Willa McDonough, on-camera coach, storyteller, and remote video producer. 5 years ago, I moved from my home base of San Francisco to the coast of Portugal, taking a big leap into the unknown. Some called it courageous. I called it carving my own fucking path. Today, I live in Lisbon and run a business that elevates your online presence, helping you show up confidently on camera to create videos that showcase your brand and personality so you can get more visibility and attract clients by being yourself. If you're just starting out in business or you've been doing it for a while, you're sure to pick up tidbits of actionable advice and hopefully feel inspired by stories from people who have chosen the unconventional and sometimes messy path. And if you've been waiting for a sign to start carving your own fucking path, this is it. I'm so happy you're here. Hey guys. Okay, I'm super excited to have my next guest on the podcast, Amanda Bybel from New York City. She's a certified life and success coach, NLP practitioner, and founder of the Inner Beauty Bybel, where she helps women create massive income and impact in their soul-aligned businesses. She's basically a badass who inspires women all over the world and has one of the best New York accents. Hi, Amanda.
Hi. How can I top that intro? Now I'm going to have to start accentuating. Is that how you say it? Accentuating my coffees and walking and
yes. Love it.
Thank you so much, Willow, for asking me to be on your podcast.
So I met Amanda last month in Toronto with our coach training certifications. She is a force to be reckoned with, just to let people know. Right away, you just have this infectious energy.
Thank you.
You are welcome. You're a doer. And that is like the best part is you don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk. You have such an incredible journey that I hope you will share with us about where you come from and where you are today. And in such a short period of time, you've created a business that is very lucrative, and you are now helping other women create the same. You're helping them 3 to 10x their business, but also create a massive impact.
I think for me, like seeing my clients experience the massive shifts and results that I've also been able to experience is the most rewarding part. Mm-hmm. When I first started, I was really insecure and also not really confident in what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to create impact for women and allow them to really unleash that magic that was inside of them all along. But the struggle that I was having in the very beginning of my journey was that like I didn't believe in myself. So the problem was like, how was I going to guide people to also believe in themselves if I wasn't there yet?
Right. Give us a little snapshot of what your journey has been pre-life and success coach.
Sorry, I'm laughing because my cat Pablo is like legit crying in the background. And I'm staring at him like just shaking my head. And he's like, bitch, I'm going to meow because I hear you recording and I want to be heard. Yeah, essentially, I spent the better half of a decade really just searching for fulfillment in the corporate world. I was chasing salary increases, title promotions, trying to find my dream job. And it all came down to last January. I came home having like a major, I don't want to call it a panic attack, but it was like a meltdown because I realized I was totally and completely empty, even after spending years and years and years just trying to climb up the corporate ladder. All the while I was doing that, I was trying to create these side hustles on the side because I was trying to escape corporate. And I've done literally everything in the book, like everything, Willow. Like
Mary Kay
selling juices I was allergic to. I tried creating organic scrub and like making these coffee scrubs in my kitchen. And I had my husband like filling these big gallon containers, mixing it all. I tried flipping mobile homes. I thought I was going to be like the queen of the mobile home empire, real estate. multi-level marketing, everything. So it's really funny
Wow.
now that I look back on it, and I spent like all the years that I was in corporate, like just trying to make it work in my own thing. And last January, and the way that I got into coaching is I had been following my coach, Lexi D'Angelo, on Instagram, and I saw her going through the Yes Supply certification, and I started asking her questions. She looked like she was pretty badass. I wanted the life that she was living, and I wanted to learn all the things that she was, doing in her life, because she seemed to be like on the right path and on the path that I too wanted to be on. What's interesting is that I tell people all the time, like, find somebody who like you want what they have and follow in their footsteps, because you wouldn't take financial advice from somebody who you don't look up to financially, or you wouldn't take business advice from someone who has like a shitty business. And you definitely wouldn't take relationship advice from someone who's like, in a toxic relationship,
Right.
So I started working with her masterclass. I enrolled in the Yes Supply because that's what she had done. And I started to experience like an inner transformation, because like the external thing is usually we're not doing so great in business. Like, I want to increase my sales. But what I didn't realize this entire time, like my entire life basically, is that the transformation comes from the inside out. And once I started believing in myself, my business legit took off. I realized that I needed to bring all the tools and techniques that I had experienced for myself in my own transformation to like the whole world. And that's brings us pretty much now.
So that's your mission, is to
create that ripple effect and continue it, create waves.
Right.
We all need to learn how to manage our minds. And more importantly, we need to know how to program our minds in a way that is conducive to the external reality that we're trying to call in. Because if we have these big goals and these big dreams and we just don't believe in ourselves, well, guess what? They're going to stay just that, dreams and goals in the future.
Right. Definitely more superficial. Unless you really embody it. Can you, so many people, especially people I'm talking to now, it seems like the main thing people struggle with is clarity.
Yeah.
Finding like, which way do I go? What path do I take? And I'm always generally afraid of taking the wrong path. Or can you remember like the moment of clarity maybe that you had about even getting into this type of work? You've tried everything, sounds like. So what was it about?
Yeah, I think the moment of clarity that I had was, again, when I started doing this work with like other coaches. And I actually, this was my real moment of clarity was I had been following Manifestation Babe. I don't know if you know who Catherine Zenkina is. So I bought her goal setting guide, and basically it was a 21-day challenge. And in that 21-day challenge, I set a goal for myself. I blew my own mind with how I actually achieved my goal in the 21 days, because it was like one of those lofty goals that was, always in the future for me. And the way that the guide was set up, and I'm not getting paid for this promotion, is basically it had you just like get out of your own fucking way and start believing in yourself, start staying consistent, start staying like, on track and focused. And when I wrote this goal down for myself, I think it was making $1,000 extra in the month on my side business. I was like, holy shit, like I was consistent. I stayed productive. I was motivated, and I saw myself working towards this goal. And that moment of clarity was more around like, if I write this shit down, it's going to happen. And if I believe in myself, it's going to happen. That moment when I saw how far I came in 21 days, I was like, oh my God, this stuff actually works.
New to the woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so, and now you're just completely embodying everything. I love it. Can you share like leaving corporate? Because again, it was not that long ago, but you were pretty high up.
Yeah. When I graduated college with a degree in exercise physiology, honestly, the reason why I think I went for exercise physiology is because like all the cute football players were in that major.
Obviously.
And honestly, at that point in time, and like, I promise I'll get to the point, but at that point in time, I was so sick. Like we shared before that, like, I struggled for a lot of my teenage years and into my early 20s with an eating disorder. So I was seeking validation in any way, shape, or form that I could possibly find. And my personal goals were never really clear or defined. So when I went to college, I basically just was following the shiny objects or things where I would get the validation I was looking for. And I ended up, wasting 4 years in college, pretty sick and suffering, feeling totally hopeless and helpless, and graduating barely by the skin of my teeth. So right out of college, I ended up getting a job as a secretary. So I sat at this desk. I was like literally like banging my head against the desk, and I mastered how to create resumes. So I was helping people to retell their story on their resumes. And then I figured out how to retell mine. And then from my $12 an hour part-time real estate gig, I ended up landing a job at this solar company as an executive assistant. There, I slowly started to redefine myself and cultivate skills that were needed in the corporate world. So I was able to get a role in the finance industry as an executive assistant. And most recently, I was at a job in the finance industry as an executive assistant as well. But I was leaving jobs to get that salary increase and to get that title promotion and to get the next best thing.
Did you have financial goals that you were trying to hit?
I just wanted more. Like last year, where I landed this job and the money was like more than I had made previously. And I wasn't feeling fulfilled. Stuck, mostly stuck, because I never thought that I would be able to replace that corporate income with a coaching gig, which is totally untrue. But again,
you're proving that. It
was just that the belief in myself wasn't there. And again, it goes back to that embodiment, right? Because what I teach now is like, get in touch with your future self, like that Willow 2.0, Amanda 2.0, and fucking be her. Because if she has the thing, she clearly embodies what she's talking about. She clearly has really high vibe rituals and habits and beliefs, most importantly, because she's been able to call that thing in. So like, what are those beliefs? What are those habits? What resources has she cultivated during her, journey? And who did she become?
Yeah, you're Sasha Fierce.
You're Sasha Fierce, Posh Spice.
You would say. Posh Spice, yeah. And could you share a little bit about what some of your beliefs are and also rituals, like, your morning ritual and that kind of things?
So every morning, actually the last couple of weeks, I started incorporating a new recipe to my morning magic, which actually I am mind blown with the goals that I've achieved in the last couple of weeks based on like this new just piece of the puzzle. Every morning I wake up really early. I think that mornings are the most important part of the day. And I love saying like high vibe morning equals high vibe day equals high vibe life.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. So I call my morning ritual morning magic, and I wake up every day. And the last couple of weeks, I actually started tapping in the morning, doing some EFT.
Cool.
Yeah. So I tap out any frustrations or any stress that I'm feeling, stuff that carried over, or lack or scarcity that I'm feeling, or worries. Okay. Like I tap out the worries. If I'm feeling any sort of pain points in like mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I tap that shit out, and I tap in to like what Amanda 2.0 would be waking up feeling like. She feels powerful. She is a millionaire coach. She creates massive impact and ripples of change. Like she is someone who has a waiting list. She is somebody who attracts people wherever she goes. She's magnetic. People want to learn from her. Like, so I tap all that stuff in every day.
Love it.
And honestly, I think that was like the game changer the last month for me. I was always someone who was like tapping and like rolled my eyes at it. But girlfriend, listen to me. Like I started tapping and I had a 50K month last month, which is absolutely mind blowing, insane. And I totally attribute it to the tapping. So
wow.
Yeah, but I wake up every day and I write down my non-negotiables. So like my daily minimal actions, like the things that I will, no matter what, achieve that day. And I cross that shit off the list as the day goes on. I set an intention. Whether that's just like, I will stay abundant all day long, or I will look for the abundance in all situations, or I will be at cause, just whatever the intention is for that day. And then I also write some gratitude down and I get real freaking specific with it. Mostly like I am grateful for my loving and supportive husband that comes home every day at 6 p.m. and we eat dinner together. Like it's just so specific because it allows you to pinpoint a situation. And when it happens, it's like, that's a win.
Yeah.
So my yoga class is at 6 a.m. and I do that for an hour and then my day gets started, but nobody takes your mornings from you. And that's why a morning ritual is so important.
So important. It is such a game changer. Now I'm feeling a bit lazy compared to your morning ritual, but
you can reset at any time, Willow.
I know.
So I have a 2-month masterclass going on called Ignite. And it's for women who are looking to increase their income, increase their impact, increase their productivity, motivation, confidence, and visibility in their business. Because when you work on the inner stuff, the outer stuff works.
Yeah. And you're definitely the queen of visibility. You have a YouTube channel with
300,000.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I have a big platform and I'm so grateful for it. Let me tell you about Ignite a little bit. So Ignite launches officially on 2/22, so February 22nd. We're still taking people for the waitlist for the May course that is launching 5/5, so May 5th. So we do weekly calls all about like the inner stuff. We sprinkle in some NLP magic, hypnosis, EFT, some of that stuff, but also really just kind of bundle it in with like that quantum shit, you know, like that stuff that collapses the timelines. Like all of that stuff is so powerful, and embodying it is even more powerful because when you walk the walk, you see changes in your life. My certification launches in September, which I'm so pumped about.
That's amazing.
Willow, I was so inspired by the whole experience we had when we were in Toronto in January that I decided that I had to do this for myself. And what I did was really just kind of like incorporate all the things that I loved about the other certification program that I was in as well and make it my own. I have 2 in-person retreats, weekly Zoom calls where you're fully embodying all the stuff that you're learning. And that way you feel so confident knowing that you can facilitate these results for your clients and practice with other practitioners who are also enrolled. So really excited about it.
Very cool. Yes, this is definitely your path to teach others. I think, you know, at that level, keep spreading the high vibes.
Carving my own fucking path.
Exactly. I mean, you talk about something and then the next minute you do it. I think that's like just such a striking difference between people that get into this kind of work, and it doesn't mean that you don't have your own apprehensions or insecurities or anything like that, you know, just go for it.
The reason why I just do it without thinking about it is I truly believe now, which is something that I didn't believe back then, is I can learn. It's not failure. It's feedback. And that's what we talk about all the time, right? It's not failure. It's feedback. So if you never put it into the world, you're never going to know like how it can be better. But you put it in, you learn from it, and then you kind of just like morph it and it evolves like as you go. And you learn from the people in your community, you learn from friends and family, you learn from yourself, like what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. Well, that brings me to courage. Where did you tap into this courage? I mean, it sounds like you're an entrepreneur at the core. You know, yes, you've had the corporate jobs, but there was always something in you that wanted to create your own thing. And that takes a lot of courage.
Yeah. And like, no, I was scared of my own shadow. I come from like a family, like my dad had his own business. My sister has her own business. I just didn't believe that that was possible for me. And I don't know why. And I was just so consumed in my own head. Like I just was so scared to fail. More importantly, I was scared of failure. I was like, my goals overwhelmed me. I had zero courage. I couldn't take that first step. I didn't want to. And again, like last year when I came home and I had that meltdown, I was so consumed with guilt that like everything was perfect from the outside looking in, like why wasn't I happy? And when I started really just like diving into this like personal development space, I saw that the people who are the most successful had tried and failed so many times.
Right. Yeah. It's like the overnight success that we see is 10 years in the making. That's
totally.
Like
and no one's success, like no one's business blows up overnight. It's because the foundations they're laying all along. And what I noticed is like, I had been trying different businesses all along. And like, while, I was fucking scared, but I was scared of like all the judgment because like I kept pivoting. And I didn't want to do like another thing and fail at it. But what I realized is like each time I was failing, like it was kind of evolving into something more.
Yeah. And what is your definition of failure in all these businesses? When would you decide?
So my definition of failure was not being able to replace my corporate income with my quote unquote passionate side hustle. And I hate the word hustle.
Yeah, me too.
Failing meaning like I spent so much time, so much energy, so much money on trying to make a business work that wasn't lucrative for me. So that to me was failure. Now I see failure as feedback, right? So like you're learning from it. And then we were talking about this a little while ago, but like learning how I can be at cause for the things that are happening. Like, failure may be somebody like I'm not getting the amount of views or likes on my Instagram or YouTube or whatever. Okay, so how can I pivot and maybe like make something more widely accepted? Or how can I see this as like I'm reaching 5 people? That's 5 people. And how can I cultivate that audience?
Okay. And because you are out there, I mean, in a lot of ways, how do you handle criticism?
Oh my God.
The more you put out, the more criticism.
But that's the thing. So, and here's another funny point, because one of my clients yesterday launched her coaching business and like I shouted her out on my Instagram and she got like all these hate messages and she's like, how do you deal with that? And people are showing their true colors when they're basically resistant to what you're doing, right? They're basically everything that they're saying to you about what they don't like about what you're doing or what I'm doing is a reflection on their own insecurities and their view of themselves. So basically they're saying to you, I got a message on my Facebook wall saying like, that's how much you charge. That's like the amount someone pays for their rent or their mortgage, like how, like what kind of training and what makes you a quote unquote coach or something like that. But like that was one message, first of all, in a sea of positive messages and things like that. And I think as humans, we fixate on like the one hater.
Yeah.
Instead of like the 100 people who are totally supporting you.
Yeah, that's so true. So you just let it roll off your back.
Yeah, now I do. Like I responded back. Most of the time I don't respond back. I responded back and said, it sounds like you would really benefit from taking one of my courses because you're in the scarcity mindset. Imagine if you were able to create that income from the techniques that you learned from me.
Damn. There you go.
Yeah. So
that's great. Yeah. I think that again, probably doesn't happen overnight. I mean, we're human. We, feel things, especially when they're negative like that, just coming, from out of the blue, but it's part of the risk you take from putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
When I say risk, I mean, it is a risk, but it's also so much more rewarding.
It's so amazing to see the amount of people that you touch, I touch. And because we decided to step into our courage and our power to like believe in ourselves, because Reese believed in herself, because Lexi believed in herself. Like the two people that I've been learning from, Reese is where we got the certification from, because she believed in herself. Like we were able to believe in ourselves as well and kind of take a step further. And it's all about people who see value in themselves and then show people how they can see value in themselves as well.
Such a good point. I'm glad you pointed that out. It is a minute by minute practice. Personally, it's a mind game, head game. You know?
It is. And it's not perfect. Funny story. I think it was, what's today, Thursday. So Tuesday, I canceled all of my calls in the afternoon because I was feeling like just totally like shit.
Oh, okay.
And I was having like a day, and that's okay because we're human. And because just because like we're positive people or we feel into the abundance, that doesn't mean we don't have like human emotions. You know, it doesn't make us super powered. It's shit happens and we go through our cycles. Tuesday was a fucking day, and I laid on the couch and I watched Twilight. And I did nothing, and I was totally fine with it. But like the me like a year ago, like if I did that, I would feel so guilty. But
that you're letting people down. And and do you ever get I mean, you kind of just answered it, but it's like as a coach, as someone who's helping other people, you know, achieve XYZ, do you ever have the feeling like, oh, if I'm not feeling 100% all the time, then how can I?
And like, you know, and that's why like tapping is so effective.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's days where I like really, and Tuesday was specifically one of those days because I wasn't feeling like aligned. I was feeling just very icky. I thought it would be extremely irresponsible of me to get on a phone with a client and like talk to them and guide them to feel super aligned. If I was just feeling so out of alignment, it just didn't feel right. But at the same time, like I'm sure my client appreciated me coming from a better headspace the next day.
Yes, absolutely. And I think when we see people in these positions like yourself as a coach or as, you know, as any sort of person that people look to, and they share this side, this vulnerable side, which is definitely trending everywhere. It just humanizes everything. And it's like, yeah, you know, it's all part of the process. Honoring yourself, like giving you the day just to lie around is 100% the best thing you could do. I mean, it's all vibration, I think, you know, if your energy is off, like you said, then that will definitely transpire.
Yeah. You might have the same message, like one day versus another, but the way that it's articulated and translated into like reality will be completely and totally different. And your energy space will be completely different too. Like just for perspective, Willow, I've literally been wearing the same pants since Sunday. So like it's fine. Like life's good. Like there's no reason to get down on that.
Amanda, you are complete badass.
I love you, Willow. You know what? I could talk to you every morning and tap all the affirmations you've been saying this entire recording into my tapping secrets.
The truth. Oh my gosh. I love spending time with you, obviously in Toronto. You just lift me up and other people up, you know, with your legit positivity and real talk as well.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Say hi to Pablo. You can find Amanda at Inner Beauty Bybel, Bybel on YouTube and Instagram at Inner Beauty Bybel. Make sure to also check out her links, which are in the show notes, to her 2-month masterclass Ignite and her Life and Success Coach certification, which is called Blaze. And for a cheeky 10% off, enter the promo code WILLOW. That brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoy the show, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts. It makes a big difference for visibility. And even better, share this episode with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode every other Wednesday. If you're interested in working together to elevate your online presence, I'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me on Instagram at whereiswillow. I also hang out on LinkedIn, Willow McDonough. Until then, cheers to carving your own fucking path. I love you.